Welcome back to the Madman's Diary. Tonight, we're diving into 5 true stories that will make you question reality, fear the mundane, and look over your shoulder. Story number 5, The Vanishing Phone. It all started at a local bar on a music night. My friend dragged me out to catch the opening act, and after a few drinks, I realized my phone was gone. I checked the table, the bar, the bathroom. Nothing. Heart pounding. I borrowed my friend's phone to call mine. 2 rings. Then a low, raspy giggle, like gravel scraping across metal, echoed through the receiver before the line went dead. I called again. Silence. And then, nothing. My chest tightened with unease. Eventually, I gave up, defeated, and headed home. When I got there, my phone lay on the nightstand exactly where I'd left it. But the memory of that laugh stayed with me, crawling under my skin. It was as if someone had been there, watching, listening, waiting. Even now, I sometimes imagine the shadowy figure leaning over the bar, fingers brushing my empty pocket. It wasn't just a prank. That giggle had weight. It had intention. The bar felt colder that night. Every laugh from other patrons a distorted echo, every clink of glasses amplified. I didn't sleep well, not because of the missing phone, but because something unseen had made its presence known. Story number 4, The Bus Driver. When I was a kid, I was always the last to be picked up by the school bus. One day, I waited alone. Out of nowhere, a bus pulled up, empty. The driver smiled, inviting me on. My stomach twisted. "Where are the other kids?" I asked. "Don't worry. We'll go get them. Just hop on," he said. He pressed more and more, but never forced me. I refused. Finally, he shrugged and drove off. Minutes later, the real bus arrived. That night, I told my parents. They had been worried sick, frantically making calls, panic etched across their faces. Years later, I realized the bus driver's smile was something else entirely. Not welcoming, it was predatory. The bus appeared out of nowhere. How did it know I would be alone? And that smile, it wasn't just human. Every time I see a school bus now, I feel that same cold knot in my chest, like unseen eyes are tracking me.
Story number 3, The Neighbor. A few years ago, I rented an apartment from a friend. My new neighbor was unsettling. She was around 45, but looked much older. Every night, she'd sit awake, listening to Christian radio and speaking loudly to herself. At first, it was strange. Soon, it became terrifying. I went to ask her to quiet down. She opened the door, and I got a quick glimpse. Walls painted with crosses, words like Jesus and angels scribbled everywhere, windows blackened to let no light in. The carpet was damp, yellow-stained, 50 years old. A stench of decay hung thick in the air, and cockroaches crawled everywhere. There was no dog, but the air reeked of death. She looked at me, silently, then slammed the door, turning up her radio even louder. The next night, my girlfriend stayed over. I woke to see a shadow beside the bed, watching us. My first thought was hallucination, but the shadow spoke. It was her. She held something in her hand. "Lock your doors at night," she whispered before vanishing. Later, I heard her chanting under my window in an unknown tongue, carrying a plastic bag containing her decaying dog. The smell was unbearable. Fear like that doesn't leave you. It nests in your chest, tightening with every breath. The police later confirmed she was a violent schizophrenic, non-compliant with medication. They couldn't enter her apartment. Only when she stepped outside could they intervene. At 2 a.m., she walked to 7-Eleven. 2 minutes later, she was gone, removed from reality as if she had never existed. But I still see her eyes in my nightmares. Story number 2, the stone at the office. I was finishing a night shift at an office in an industrial district. Around 11:30 p.m., a massive crash shattered a window. A large rock had been thrown. All other businesses were closed. The darkness outside pressed against the glass, suffocating. I called security, then decided to leave. My heart raced with every step. Almost home, I realized I hadn't locked the car. It was open. The back seat felt like it was hiding something, but it was empty. Half an hour later, riding my bike to meet a friend, I noticed someone following me. They passed slowly, their grin impossibly wide, insane. I froze. My mom's bike. They were riding my mom's bike. The night seemed to stretch into a nightmare, every shadow a threat. I sped home, finding the back left door of my car open and her bike missing. The feeling of being watched lingered long after. Story number 1, the payphone. I worked night shifts at a campground. A payphone nearby rang once every night at 4:17 a.m. for months. At first, I ignored it. One night, I answered. Silence. Then, a raspy breath, like someone inhaling through clenched teeth. The voice, rough, gravelly, said my full name, first, middle, last. I had never heard it before. My throat tightened, and I hung up. I checked the number. California. I lived in Indiana. Night after night, I answered. The voice never wavered. Always the same rasp. Always naming me completely. I felt my reality fracturing. Something had tracked me across thousands of miles. Or maybe it was something else entirely, reaching through space and technology to whisper my name. Every ring made the darkness feel alive, crawling with unseen menace.